Hey friends, it's Lisa Sugarman from the Suicide Survivor Series. I'm a Boston-based mental health advocate, a three-time survivor of suicide loss, a crisis counselor with the Trevor Project, and a storyteller with the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So until recently, I've been a people pleaser for about as long as I can remember. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only one. And trust me when I say it's had a lot of negative impacts on my mental health over the years. That's because I've let myself worry more about other people's happiness and well-being than my own sometimes, a lot of the time. It's just how I've always been wired. And while I do love and appreciate that I do have empathy and caring for other people, I've come to realize that focusing on everybody else and ignoring my own needs left me pretty emotionally depleted and stressed and anxious so much of the time that I'd actually forgotten what I really needed for me. And it's only pretty recently that I started taking to heart the reality that we can't pour from an empty cup. That's why these days I'm happy to call myself a recovering people pleaser, and let me tell you why. So I gave myself permission to start saying no to things that took me away from the things that I needed to do for me. I also stopped apologizing for things or situations that were beyond my control. And I stopped letting myself be fearful of disappointing people and letting that affect my headspace. And probably the biggest change has been to stop taking responsibility for other people's emotions, because those aren't in my control either. And I have to say, while I'm still definitely a work in progress, I've noticed some pretty positive changes since I stopped prioritizing other people over myself. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988 and a trained crisis counselor will be there to help.